And the former Lille man does win the throw. And the free kick, I should say, for Brighton. It's Toya decides to go backwards from that free kick. Nothing particularly exciting, I've got to say. And Brighton try and come forward, but it's poor play from the Seagulls who give it away. Alert play from Højbjerg, atoning for the error that led to the free kick. Play from that far side in the sunny part of the field that I mentioned. The Southampton attack breaks down and Brighton get it back. Anthony Knockaert up against Bertrand going for the ball. Knockaert does win it, but it comes off the Frenchman last. Southampton this time with the throw. Slightly lackadaisical play though from Saints. Yoshida with a misunderstanding, and now Brighton can attack. The ball's jinked over the top. Good play from David Pröpper to the far side. Frustratingly, I think it's Alireza is just offside. Alireza Yahang Bashir just straying into an offside position. It's Knockaert who won it, played it to Pröpper, and yes, Alireza just mistiming his run. The former AZ Alkmaar man, I'd say about half a yard offside, correctly spotted by the officials, and Southampton will get the free kick. Just outside the right edge of their own penalty area. Angus Gunn, now the Saints' number one of recent weeks, displacing Alex McCarthy. He's the man who smacks it downfield. Briefly controlled in the middle of the park by Dale Stevens. He's then dispossessed. Southampton play the ball down into the far corner, where the Brighton skipper Lewis Dunk reacts first and gets it back to his goalkeeper. Over in that sunny period part of the field again. Pröpper seeing a fair bit of the ball early on. The Dutch international midfielder. Good play from Yves Bissouma under considerable pressure. Bissouma now picks up a neat little 1-2 from Anthony Knockaert. Bissouma, the one change to the team that knocked out Millwall in the FA Cup. This is better from Brighton, more flowing, expansive attacking football. Stevens to the far side, it's slid through. An overhit looking for Pröpper. He's going to struggle to get there, but Pröpper does well. Plays the ball off Højbjerg and out for a slightly unexpected corner. That was slightly too much safety first from Saints, and good thinking from Pröpper for the Seagulls. 6.5 played on TalkSport Premier League Live. Brighton have the first corner of the game. By the way, there's been a goal at Turf Moor. Connor Cody own goal. Burnley 1, Wolves 0. Own goal from the 3 o'clock UK time games so far. Earlier Fulham 0, Manchester City 2. City back top of the table. Knockaert with the corner, dangerous looking outswing, almost fell onto the head of Lewis Dunk, shot from distance, takes a deflection. Alireza it was who had that crack. Worth a go. Left footed. I think the deflection was off another Brighton shirt. Let's look at the replay. Definitely worth a crack. In the end, it was behind for a goal kick, which Angus Gunn will take. Current England under-21 goalkeeper. Came through the ranks at Man City. Lined out to Norwich at one point. Very highly rated player. Claims his penalty area well, which Alex McCarthy, the man he's just replaced, arguably was not one of his stronger areas. McCarthy, a good shot stopper, and maybe at times just struggled to command his box. Gunn seems to have a good all-round package for a young goalkeeper. Hassan Hurtle putting him in after it was Tenerife training camp a few weeks ago. Taking a look at the pair at close quarters and deciding to make the switch. Saints on the whole, I think we'll be pleased to have made that call. Here's Oriol Romeo with a clever ball over the top. Looking for James Ward-Prowse, who was trying to ghost in behind the Brazilian left-back Bernardo. Bernardo with a poor ball, he's given it away as he tried to clear it. Here's Ward-Prowse again. Good delivery. And Stuart Armstrong surged into the edge of the 6-yard box. Brighton had to react quickly. And Shane Duffy forced to concede the corner. Bernardo did well to win the ball initially, but then a bit too much Brazilian flair, maybe in the wrong part of the field. Tried to play his way out of trouble. Gave it away straight away. Southampton through Ward-Prowse and Armstrong, and their first corner of the game. We have played 9 minutes on Premier League Live. It's 0-0, Brighton, Southampton. An all-important game near the foot of the table. Room for either will be a massive step toward top-flight survival. Ward-Prowse, dangerous-looking outswinger. We know what a threat he is from the set piece. Ethan Redmond wins the secondary ball back to Ward-Prowse with his left foot this time, tries to bend one in, it's his weaker foot. And Shane Duffy heads it half clear, intercepted by Ryan Bertrand, but Bertrand's head up well off target, and in the end behind for a goal kick. So Ward-Prowse, as you mentioned, man of the moment with his fine form, getting him an England recall for Gareth Southgate for those two recent Euro 2020 qualifiers in which he was in the Three Lions squad. Ward-Prowse 6 goals in 9 games, third highest scorer in the Premier League in the year 2019, behind a certain Sergio Aguero and a certain Sadio Mane. Banging form, every dead ball specialist, and he seems to have really rediscovered his mojo since Mark Hughes left the club as manager and Hasenhüttl came in. Brighton back in possession through Bernardo, who does better this time after that mistake that we mentioned a few minutes ago from the former RB Leipzig and former RB Salzburg fullback. This time he just deflects it off a Southampton shirt and out for a throw. Just inside the Brighton half on the far stand side. The ball is flicked on by Glenn Murray, not mentioned his name so much in the game so far, the 35-year-old up front for Brighton. Murray couldn't quite hold on to the ball. Southampton try and weave some magic down the far stand side. Ethan Redmond has had a decent season, and also another player looking a little bit resurgent under Hasenhüttl. He's the man who wins the throw. No real options and outlets again for Southampton from the throw. That's twice that's happened, and Saints are forced to go all the way back to Mar Yoshida. He's being tracked by Murray. Japanese knocks it downfield, but it's a fairly innocuous and unthreatening ball. Brighton easily intercept. Here's Yves Bissouma. Beautiful touch from Murray. And field to Knockaert. Good run from Knockaert. This is a great move from Brighton and Hove Albion. Knockaert still going. Out to Ali Reza on the left-hand side. Puts in the cross shot. It's well intercepted. Good work, I think, from Jan Bednarik. It was Nepal who had to be in the right place at the right time to make the block. He did so. And that was all important. By far the best move of the game. Really nice silky play from Brighton. Didn't quite end up with a shot on target, but it was decent football nonetheless. Applause, by the way, a young lad called Mason Warwick, a Brighton fan who's been fighting serious illness. And Mason Warwick's face on the big screen, and just honoured by everybody at the club there, fans giving their applause. Nice moment as promised in the 13th minute of the game. And in terms of the action on the field, Yves Bissouma and Stuart Armstrong tussling over the ball. Just trying to work out which way the free kick's gone. Both kind of fell into each other there. It was a fairly innocuous and fairly ugly incident. Referee has decided to give Southampton the free kick for it, so as the two clashed, Bissouma was deemed to be the guilty party by ref Michael Oliver, and it's a free kick to Southampton about 10-15 yards inside the Brighton half, so it's still a fair way out, but it's not the worst of places for Southampton to maybe formulate an attack from. Bertrand takes it short to Ings, who tries to deliver an early ball. Bissouma does well. Was that a high boot from Ings? Decision is yes. He gives away the free kick this time, and Brighton defend that well, I've got to say. And in a moment, from their own free kick this time, they'll get the chance to get the ball cleared. There's also been a goal, by the way, at the King Power Stadium. Leicester City have taken the lead against out-of-form Bournemouth. Veteran defender and Premier League winner from 2016, Wes Morgan, with the goal. So Leicester 1, Bournemouth 0, Burnley 1, Wolves 0. Goalless here in our game at the Amex. Brighton Southampton 13.5 minutes in. Also goalless in our featured game, which is Man United, Watford, and goalless Palace Huddersfield. Here come Brighton on the attack again. Shot from distance from Ali Reza was a decent one. Blocked by the Southampton defence, and Brighton come again. Crossfield delivery is an intelligent one. This is good football as another ball is put in by Martin Montoya from the near stand side this time, and the fans really rising to a much better spell from Brighton over the course of the last 2 or 3 minutes. It was Yoshida who hacked the ball to safety. Montoya takes a quick throw, and like Southampton, Brighton presenting options for their players, and oh dearie me, Dale Stephens repeatedly fouling his man there. And surely Stevens will go into the book for that. He does. He was tugging and pulling and nibbling away at Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. At about the fourth attempt of doing so, Højbjerg goes down. It's right in front of the ref. Michael Oliver, I think quite rightly, dishes out the first card of the game. It's a yellow card for Dale Stevens, and correctly so. Nearly a quarter of an hour play. Great Teddy Company, wherever you're listening around the world on Premier League Live. Welcome to the excellent Amex Stadium. It remains Brighton 0, Southampton 0. Now, Southampton just try to patiently build themselves. Ball in field to Ryan Bertrand, who's in plenty of space, wearing 21. Being shackled by Knockaert. So he's forced to go in field to another of his former Chelsea colleagues in Oriol Romeu. Now, the veteran Japanese, Yoshida. Continued patient build-up from Saints. It just didn't quite work out on that occasion as Armstrong tried to feed the ball through to Bertrand. Brighton reacting quickly. Martin Montoya to the fore in particular. He wins the ball back. Bertrand, I think, claiming that he should have had the throw, or that maybe he was fouled, but I think we can all safely say that a Brighton throw is the right call on that occasion. In case you missed it earlier, by the way, Fulham 0, Manchester City 2 was the lunchtime score UK time. Bernardo Silva and Sergio Aguero with goals inside the first half an hour of that one. Pretty much killed it off as a contest. Fulham again with a solid showing under their caretaker boss Scott Parker, not getting the points, but they've had such a tough run of games. They've been a bit competitive and not been thrashed in any of those matches, which I guess is something of an upturn. They stay second bottom. Now Knockaert's been dispossessed. Good tackle by Højbjerg. Danny Ings is there on halfway, going deeper to try and get a little bit more of the ball, the man on loan from Liverpool. Not the best of balls to Ings, but he controls it well and finds Nathan Redmond. Redmond being shackled by Lewis Dunk, takes the ball to the edge of the penalty area, tries to thread it through to Armstrong. It's off Yves Bissouma, and it's behind for another Southampton corner. Decent football there from Saints. Redmond with some good ingenuity. Quick bit of thinking from Armstrong as well. And the ball goes out for that corner kick. Højbjerg is up there. Romeu with two extra red Southampton jerseys. It's going to be Bertrand's left foot with an outswinger to take it. I think the referee is going to go and check whether the ball is just outside the corner segment. There's of course a little curved line that the ball has to be in, and he's happy that I think a tiny bit of the ball is just about on that segment, so rather needless bit of wasted time, but the ref making sure the corner will be taken from its location. Good delivery from Redmond. It's into the head though, I think of Dunk, who gets it clear. Only back to Southampton. Redmond, decent delivery infield again from Bertrand. Blocked shot from distance from Højbjerg. Southampton win the secondary ball again through the ingenious and ever-willing James Ward-Prowse. Not seen a lot of the young French fullback Yann Valery in this game, but he's got it now. Deep cross from Valery, it's overhit, but Redmond reacts quickly and keeps it in. Here's Nathan Redmond right up against the goal line. Running up against Montoya, shot on target, saved by Ryan, who slightly mishandled it. Eventually he gets there second time around. First shot of note in the game, and Nathan Redmond unleashed a powerful shot from an acute angle. Ryan, I don't think, was expecting it, which is why he fumbled it slightly before gathering. Straight at the stopper. Had it been a yard either side, I think it would have actually been a goal. Such a surprise effort was it. Good play from Redmond. Powerful effort, but we stay 0-0. Yeah, Nathan Redmond, first meaningful effort of the game. It was a goodie, I've got to say. Redmond with 6 goals so far this season. Himself a one-cap England international after multiple appearances for the under-21s and 23s. Formerly of Birmingham City and Norwich City before making his home on the south coast a couple of seasons ago. Good player. And it's Southampton on the attack again. They're in their own half, but they're seeing a bit more of the ball of late, and buoyed on no doubt by that Redmond effort. Danny Ings again dropping deep to see more of the ball. Intelligent 1-2 with Armstrong. The Scot wearing 17 cuts in field to the edge of the centre circle. Højbjerg and Ward-Prowse exchanging passes. Home crowd just a little bit flat at the moment. Home players have gone a bit flat as well. Romeo to the dangerous Redmond, another 1-2. I think it was Armstrong was just falling as he tried to prod the ball back through to Redmond as he tried to complete his run. Didn't quite work out on that occasion. But you can understand the intent and what Southampton were trying to do. At the moment, Redmond to the fore of their best attacks. Brighton are just trying to now press their opponents and deny them time and space on the ball. Yves Bissouma does exactly that to Ryan Bertrand, but Bertrand, helped by Ings, gets the ball back in a 2-on-1 situation. Skipper Højbjerg calling for outlets, calling for options. There aren't many there, and Brighton break up play. Ball kicked forward as far as Glenn Murray, and Angus Gunn came charging out of his goal. Slightly mishit his kick. That could have fallen anywhere as Gunn scurried back. As it was, it didn't fall into a dangerous position. It was Ali Reza again, Jahan Bakshir, who was the player trying to poke the ball home, but Angus Gunn came running out of his goal. It's Bertrand under pressure. And I think Gunn did the right thing. It was perhaps not the greatest bit of football from Angus Gunn, but I think he had to come, and when he'd made that decision, he had to come decisively and try and win it in the air. And by hook or by crook, he just about did so. Listening to Premier League Live, we have played 21 minutes of this one so far. It's Brighton 0, Southampton 0. Glenn Murray's decided that his undergarment under his shirt is making him too warm. Some kind of extra vest, which he's just ripped off and thrown to the sidelines. Murray happy now just to wear his normal number 17 Brighton jersey and no more under him. Quite warm, I think, as you can imagine, here at the Amex Stadium. End of March, and feeling like a bit of a summer's day, if I'll be honest with you. Still no more goals elsewhere, by the way. Goalless in our match. Goalless Palace, Huddersfield and Man United Watford in our feature game with John Anderson and Paul Mortimer. We're back there to Old Trafford at half-time. Ball over the top, which Maya Yoshida has to react quickly to. Anthony Knockout putting Bertrand under pressure. And I've got to say, Yoshida and Bertrand were equal to that challenge, but Southampton give the ball away again. Here's Yves Bissouma. Ball inside, critical interception. Vital interception from Oriol Romeu. Brighton about to pull the trigger on the edge of the 6-yard box. After good work from Yves Bissouma. And Romeu came sliding in and made a critical block. Bissouma was trying to cut it in field to Ali Reza Jahan Baksh, who's been very, very busy in this game. Jahan Baksh really has been a dangerous outlet on a couple of occasions, but Romeu denies him there. End-to-end stuff. Southampton on the attack this time, appeals for a penalty. Danny Ings, a little bit half-heartedly, I've got to say, felt he was shoved in the back by, I think it was Martin Montoya, as the ball was crossed in from the far side. The referee having none of it. Brighton fans not overly happy that Ings went down. Let's take a little look. Ball over the top from Ward-Prowse, and yes, it was Montoya. There was minimal contact. Striker did go down. Montoya gesticulated that he should get back to his feet as soon as possible. Hassan Hoodle just, I think, saying to the fourth official beneath us that there was some contact though, and the Southampton manager just questioning the decision not to give the penalty. I think it would have been extremely harsh. Things going down pretty easily. Let's take a little look. There was tiny bit of contact from Montoya into the back of Danny Ings. Ings does go down very easily, and the ball wouldn't have got to either of them, to be fair, either. It was over the hit and over the top of the jostling pair. Matt Ryan with a ball to this near stand side. Gallagher nearly gets there ahead of Montoya. Martin Montoya just about wins it, the former Valencia fullback. Both he and his keeper Matt Ryan both coming to Brighton from Valencia at different times. So Glenn Murray puts himself about for the Seagulls, tries to win the ball back. Does so, but Brighton are forced backwards. Dale Stephens decides to go out to the far side to the pacey Bernardo. Bernardo in field. Proper with the ball. It's a good ball from David Proper to Montoya, who's now in space. Brighton just stretching Southampton, trying to find a way out wide. It's good play. Oh, and it's a tough challenge in the end. Good play from Yoshida. Had to come in an emphatic fashion and did so. Strong tackle. Montoya's initial run was effectively a 1-2 back to Montoya. Yoshida and Montoya, no quarter given there. Good football from both. Ball came off Yoshida last. It's going to be a Brighton corner. Anthony Knockaert takes left-footed. It's an in-swinger. It's a good delivery. And I think Shane Duffy knows he should have done better there. The big Irish centre-half up at the far post. Did see it fairly late, I grant you. But Shane Duffy's header well wide in the end. Under pressure from Ariel Romeu. Anthony Knockaert, the title winner with Leicester City. In fact, did he leave just before they won the title, actually? Coming to Brighton from the King Power Stadium. His delivery. We know that he is another good dead ball specialist. There are plenty in both teams. Both of these sides love set-piece deliveries. Brighton have scored the most goals of any team in the Premier League from a combination of penalties, free kicks, corners and throw-ins. Obviously, Southampton, James Ward-Prowse and, where necessary, Ryan Bertrand as their excellent dead ball deliverers as well. Talking of Bertrand, he's going to take a throw for Saints midway inside the Brighton half. In the field to Armstrong. Romeu can't quite get there. It wasn't the best of passes from the Scot. Vestergaard's delivery is cut out. And all of a sudden, Brighton can counter-attack after some rather sloppy play from Southampton. David Proper tries to find Murray, and there's a player down injured and I think potentially in some pain. I think it was an accidental collision. It was Romeu and Murray. Romeu is down, holding his left arm. Don't think it's anything too serious. The Spaniard did appear to be in some pain and trouble eventually, but he's now pulled himself to his feet. I think he'll be okay to continue. The midfield options, if needed, on the bench for Southampton include youngster Josh Sims, the Norwegian Mohamed Alanusi. That's about it, to be honest. Apart from that, it's all defenders and strikers. Jack Stevens, Sam Gallagher at target, who I guess could do a job wide in midfield if needs be. On left back, though. Charlie Austin, of course, on the bench too. Austin has scored a career-high 7 goals in all competitions against Brighton, so if he does come off the bench, might be a man to score against a team that consider him a bit of a bogey striker. Here comes Southampton through Nathan Redmond. Good play, keeping the ball close to him, Nathan Redmond. Sticking to his feet like glue. Played it off a Brighton shirt and behind for a corner. Good football from Nathan Redmond, excellent close control. And understandably, Brighton defenders just standing off him. Not keen to try and commit to the challenge in case it led to a penalty. It was Dale Stevens who made the block. And the ball is out for a corner. Still, Burnley 1, Wolves 0 and Leicester 1, Bournemouth 0. Connor Cody own goal and a strike from Wes Morgan. The only goals in the 3 p.m. kickoffs as we tip to 28 minutes played here at the Amex. Relegation 6-pointer Brighton and Southampton is goalless. Bertram with a delivery. It's a good one. It's just over the head of Jan Bednarek. The former Lech Poznan man came steaming in, charging into the edge of the 6-yard box, but he couldn't quite connect with his header. Brighton head it clear, but only out for a Southampton throw, which Bertrand takes in field to the dangerous Redmond. No real options going forward. Brighton press well and Southampton are forced back to Bednarek again. Now out to young Jan Valery, who scored last time out, as did Ward-Prowse in the 2-1 win over Spurs. Valery with a screaming goal a bit earlier in the season as well. And the youngster's done brilliantly there up against 2 Brighton players. He wins it back. Romeu under pressure, plays a 1-2 with Yoshida, tries to bring the ball forward, takes it around Murray. Here comes Southampton once more. Højbjerg to Ward-Prowse, and Valery just couldn't quite control that one. Ward-Prowse played it a tiny bit ahead of the Frenchman, couldn't quite get there. There's been a goal in our featured game at Old Trafford. Marcus Rashford, the scorer, was an injury out with a back problem. The England man who missed the England games of late. But Marcus Rashford on 28 minutes puts Man United ahead against informed Watford. Watford have got a cup semi-final at Wembley to look forward to next weekend, as did Brighton and Hove Albion. Brighton play Chelsea this coming midweek at Stamford Bridge, then Manchester City in the FA Cup semi next Saturday. The other semi that I'll be commentating on for TalkSport Live, which I'm looking forward to next Sunday. Watford in their game against Wolves. So Leicester won, Bournemouth 0, Man United won, Watford 0 and Burnley won, Wolves 0. The only two 3 o'clock games that don't now have goals are ours in that Palace Huddersfield match. The Terriers hoping that they don't lose and other results go their way, otherwise they'll find themselves relegated already, and we're still only in March. By the way, one more commentary game to bring you later on Premier League Live. That's West Ham Everton at 5:30 UK time. Got a couple of good ones tomorrow, including the big one, Liverpool up against Spurs. Chelsea in action tomorrow as well. Good play on the far side. This is much better from Brighton. Bernardo beats 2 players. Knockout. Just tries to slide one through to Davy Proper. Southampton reacting quickly and knocking the ball to safety, and Brighton, having been a bit flat and listless for a few minutes, just inject a bit more pace into that attack and a bit more guile and invention, and home fans enjoy that. It's got them going again. They've been a little bit quiet for the last few minutes. Throw as far as Ali Reza Jahanbakhsh. Tried to use the tough muscular outlet of Glenn Murray. Murray flicking it on. And Ali Reza Jahanbakhsh was just offside. As a result, Southampton will have the free kick, just level with the edge of their own penalty area. Chris Hughton this time has now come to the edge of his technical area. The Brighton boss looking quite smart in his blue and white tie and blue cardigan. Just discussing one or two tactical options with his backroom team. Jan Valery's tussled on the far side with, I think it's Davy Proper. Valery says he won the ball. The referee disagrees. It is Proper and Valery who tussle, and Valery did get a fair bit of the man as well. It was actually good football from Davy Proper, who'd beaten a couple of players before Valery rather unceremoniously upended him. Brighton free kick inside their own half, and it's an awful free kick, which I think Bernardo took, and it was straight at Valery. Now Valery's been upended. Good tackle from Proper, getting his own back, having been fouled. Knockout in field to Yves Bissouma, who takes the shot just wide from Yves Bissouma. Didn't quite fully get hold of it. Mali international, good degree of space, 25 yards out, pulled the trigger. Just didn't quite catch it cleanly. In the end, it's a couple of yards wide of Angus Gunn's right hand post. At least it's an attempt on goal from Brighton, who've played some pretty football at times, but have struggled to really formulate any kind of meaningful assault on the Southampton goal. That was better. Chris Hughton enjoying it. Mentioned that he comes to the edge of his dugout, pointing out what a good period it has been for Brighton of late. Wins over Crystal Palace and Huddersfield in the Premier League. As here comes Southampton. Danny Ings cuts in field. Effort is blocked. Højbjerg tries to get a shot in as well. Brighton react quickly. It's gone out for a corner in the end, I think. Excellent play from Armstrong. Ings with the shot. Blocked by Bernardo. Højbjerg trying to get the shot away, and the ball just knocked to safety. Player who was just a little bit sloppy and lackadaisical there was Dale Stephens, who allowed it to be passed behind him to allow Ings to get his shot in before Bernardo's block. Did take a deflection for the corner, which Ward-Prowse takes. Deep outswinging delivery. Looking for Armstrong, couldn't quite get there. Shane Duffy making the interception. Bertrand jinks one over. Was Armstrong offside? The decision is no. Fans don't like it. Stuart Armstrong beats 2 players. No real options ahead of him, so he has to go back to Jan Bednarek. Ings backing into his man, Bernardo. Yoshida up there as well. Well, out of play in the end for a goal kick. 34.5 minutes played on Premier League Live. It remains Brighton 0, Southampton 0. And Yoshida and Bernardo battling for that. It's never going to be a penalty in a million years. Quite rightly, referee lets play go on. Ball trickles out, and in a moment we'll have another goal kick. Don't forget, you can download the Premier League preview show every Thursday. Best way to look ahead to any preview of the Premier League at a weekend. Subscribe to the TalkSport Premier League preview show podcast every Thursday. Loads of great ex-pros and get some good insight into the action that is to follow. 10 minutes till the break. Great Tony Company, wherever you're listening around the world on Premier League Live. Keep your tweets coming in at Premier League Live, at TalkSport Live I should say. Another offside. This is getting quite frustrating for Brighton. It's happened 3 or 4 times now. And Reza Jahanbakhsh is the man who was strayed again. Let's take a look. Knockout's making the run. He checks his run. And Reza doesn't. He is just offside as he picks up the ball, only by a tiny bit, but it's all you need, isn't it? Eagle-eyed spot from the officials. That will frustrate Sweden at half-time. Several times Brighton have just been the architects of their own downfall with 1 or 2 sloppy moments. Bernardo only heads it half clear. Southampton pick it up in a promising position. Ball is played through to Bertrand. Cross shot. Excellent block from Anthony Knockaert, who had to react really quickly. Bertrand's ball, I think, could have easily found Armstrong. Knockaert with a critical sliding challenge. Well, have saved Brighton a goal there. Southampton straight back to the fore. Armstrong again to the informed James Ward-Prowse. Into the penalty area. Højbjerg. This ball takes a deflection. Redmond can't get there, but Romeu can. There's Armstrong again with a deflected delivery, only as far as Højbjerg. He miscontrols it. It's not exactly the most impressive or kind of swift and subtle of attacks from Southampton, but it's working. Here's Bertrand. He's upended by a tackle from Montoya. Basuma wonderfully takes the ball around a Southampton player. That was great skill there from the former Lille midfielder. And Murray tries to get onto the end of Basuma's clearance, but Nishida wins it back. Long ball to Redmond. Down to Ings. Curling effort from Danny Ings. Always rising the ball, though. Couldn't quite control it. Former Burnley man decided to have a pop. In the end, well over the bar from Danny Ings. It's on loan from Liverpool. It's a very hot property from Burnley, Danny Ings, and had an awful knee injury that kept him out of the game for well over a year. As a result, even though I think Jurgen Klopp is a fan at Liverpool, he's just never really had the chance to get too much game time and the opportunity to come on loan to another Premier League team, and one that has lacked goals and has had problems up front like Southampton. Made sense. It's worked as well as a loan move. Ings, as we mentioned, out for 2 months with his hamstring problem. That's not helped, but that aside, it's been a successful outlet. Saints have had problems up front. Another Gabbiadini leaving. Basuma with a shot from distance, by the way, for Brighton, and the ball falls back to Brighton. Yoshida slips. What are they doing here, Southampton? Deary me. Alireza Jahanbakhsh was the man who got in the shot in the end. Saved by Gunn. Don't know what Saints were doing. They gave the ball away. Yoshida then just randomly fell down. Alireza Jahanbakhsh with a shot that was well blocked in the end by Angus Gunn for a corner. I always say that Yoshida's got a mistake in him. He's had that over his whole career. He's a big fan favourite. He's a proper Southampton through and through kind of lad, but he can make mistakes, and did so there. Got away with it. Southampton through Jan Bednarek. Valerie looking for Ward-Prowse. Was that a foul by Lewis Dunk? The answer is no. It was just an extremely robust challenge by the one-time capped England defender instead. Here's Anthony Knockaert hugging the far touchline in the sun-soaked left portion of the field. Great skills from Southampton. They win it back. Here's Ings. Good chance to counter-attack. It's 3-on-3. Redmond trying to move the ball quickly. Højbjerg has made the run, he's pushed slightly right, puts in the cross, it's chested down, good opportunity, brilliant block, powerful shot, and two Brighton players just throw their bodies and put their bodies on the line to stop Southampton getting the opening goal. It was Armstrong with the shot in the end. Redmond picking Dale Stevens' pocket to Ings. That's how the counter-attack began. Back to Redmond, to Højbjerg, who, as I say, was forced wide, but with his weaker left foot, great cross from Højbjerg. Armstrong chests it down, and the two players who made that joint block were Bernardo and Lewis Dunk, and it was absolutely crucial. That could have easily been a goal. It was a ferocious effort from Armstrong, but it never got close to Matty Ryan's goal because of that excellent block. So we've had a fair degree of incident in this game so far. Just frustrating that we haven't managed to get a goal as yet. 40 minutes played on Premier League Live. Brighton 0, Southampton 0. All the other scorelines are as we last gave you. Leicester 1, Bournemouth 0, Burnley 1, Wolves 0, Man United 1, Watford 0. Goalless our game, goalless Palace Huddersfield. West Ham Everton is our next commentary game in about an hour and 3/4. And earlier, our first commentary of the day, Fulham 0, Man City 2, thanks to Bernardo Silva and Sergio Aguero. City back ahead of Liverpool atop of the table, with both teams having played 31 games now. Glenn Murray just trying to put a little bit of pressure on Angus Gunn, but Gunn is quite happy to play the ball out to his right back, Valerie. And Southampton nonchalantly build from the back. Højbjerg to Ings. Ings had his Basuma snapping at his heels, hence he gave it away. Sloppy play because Southampton gave it away, and then Bournemouth end up getting it back. Not the best, but we'll take it. And here come Brighton and Hove Albion. Basuma, suddenly Montoya's in space beneath our vantage point here on Premier League Live. Tries to find Glenn Murray, who shows good strength to hold up the ball. Into the penalty area, here's Knockout. Thinks about one of his trademark deliveries with his left boot. Twists and turns, then puts in the cross. Murray's header. Trying to just flick the ball into the corner of the net. Not a million miles away. About a yard and a half over Angus Gunn's part. Not a bad effort from Murray. Really nice play from Knockout. Beat Bertrand and Yoshida all ends up, then delivered the cross. Yeah, Murray just tried to crane his neck and angle the ball on target. Couldn't quite do so. We stay at 0-0, 42 minutes played. Brighton and Southampton here on Premier League Live. Chris Hughton pointing out that having got to the FA Cup semi-finals now, the most important thing is Premier League points, and that's still more important to stay in the top flight than win the FA Cup. Interesting call there from Hughton. Shows the priorities of the club despite their excellent cup run. Hasenhüttl calling this one the Saints' boss a 6-pointer. Learning the lingo already, good to hear. Knows what a potentially critical step to safety a win could be. Here's Bertrand. Not a bad cross, but Redmond couldn't quite latch onto it at the near post, and it's well played by Matt Ryan. Ryan takes a quick goal kick downfield to try and begin another Brighton assault on the Southampton goal. But Southampton deal with it okay through Jan Valerie. Valerie beats Murray, then plays it in field. Here's Højbjerg, the skipper. Just about gets there ahead of Knockout. Near stand side, about midway inside the Brighton half. Ryan Bertrand to the defensive midfielder Romeu, to Ings. Good turn from Danny Ings. Beats two players. Finds Nathan Redmond. Just wide from Redmond. Better football from Southampton. Ings operating in a very congested edge of the penalty area. Found his teammate. Redmond pulled the trigger just wide of Ryan's left-hand post. Better stuff there from Southampton. Ings, when he gets it right, really is a devilish player. He's got some good skills, so clearly is Nathan Redmond. And that kind of attacking trio of Armstrong, Redmond and Ings, plus with Ward-Prowse pulling the strings from deeper in midfield. It's not a bad combination. Mentioned how obviously Gabbiadini left the club. Austin's on the bench. Michael Obafemi is a very highly rated young striker. He's injured at the moment. Shane Long's injured at the moment. Southampton have got a lot of absentees up front, but they've still managed to patchwork together a decent attacking line. Here's Ings to Armstrong. And the Scots cross is well blocked by Yves Bissouma, who made up huge amounts of ground, I've got to say, to make that block. Fair play to the Mali international. Armstrong gives a nod of approval to his rival. He appreciates how much hard yards and how much hard work Bissouma put into that block. But again, just talking about it in the commentary, that Armstrong-Ings interplay was good. As we tick toward the full 45 minutes to end the half, we'll have a bit of time added on. Find out how much in just a second. Answer is just the 1 minute. There you hear it on the tannoy, the fourth official holding up a 1 minute sign. It'll be half time before we know it here on Premier League Live. It's been 6 efforts per team, not a bad return. Just the finishing and perhaps just the general quality of play in the final third has been a tad lacking. Defence is willing so far. Game of high intensity, 2 teams struggling and both relatively local rivals on the south coast as well. A few miles and 1 county separating the 2 cities of Brighton and Southampton. Ryan, right-footed, big ball downfield from the Aussie. Murray with the flick on, and Glenn Murray's frustrated that nobody took a gamble that he'd win that in the air. Teddy Proper was the closest, but the Dutchman was never going to get there. And the ball's all the way back to Angus Gunn. And the Southampton goal, and that's your lot, ladies and gentlemen, for the first half at the Amex. A little bit of a slow burner, but it's had its moments. And we hope for more in the second half. Remember, a win for either team can go a long old way to ensuring Premier League survival. Saw Danny Ings with that shot earlier in the game, and Nathan Redmond with one just wide of target toward the end of the first half. Brighton seeing Glenn Murray's effort go just over the bar before half time, and Davy Proper and Anthony Knockaert with silky skills that nearly led to goals earlier in the half as well. See whether the second 45 can give us a goal or two. Plenty of potency on the benches if needed to try and change the game. But in the sunshine in Sussex, half-time at the Amex is Brighton 0, Southampton 0 on Premier League Live. We'll take you now to Old Trafford and to Paul Mortimer and John Anderson commentating on our featured game. Last time we checked in there, Man United were leading Watford by a goal to 0.
Being pushed backwards inch by inch. Here's Mata. Watford need to concentrate here. Smalling far post. Good defensive header by Kabasele. And that's the last action of a first half in which United lead but haven't really overall been the better team. Watford were terrific for 28 minutes, but then Marcus Rashford ran onto a sumptuous ball by Luke Shaw and dinked the ball home beyond Ben Foster. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer makes his way back for his first official team talk as Manchester United manager, no doubt with a lot to say. They have a lead, but they haven't been great. It's Manchester United 1, Watford 0. You're listening to Premier League Live.
The Premier League preview show with Talk Sport.
Pogba leaves it, Rashford hits it, oh, it's a goal, it's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
Talk Sport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
Joining us on the preview show, the former Arsenal striker and most stylish man in football, Jeremy Aliadier. I didn't want him here, but he's turned up anyway. Is the former Chelsea man, Clive Walker.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Kane now on his left foot, bends a shot, what a goal from Harry Kane! MBE! Stunning finish with his left foot into the top corner. It's wonderful from Spurs. It's magnificent from Harry Kane. No wonder the Queen wanted to bestow an honour upon him. What a goal to celebrate.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Salah's running himself to take this one. Van Dijk's there. Lovren's there. Fabinho's there to open his account for Liverpool. And just as City go 2-1 down at Leicester, Liverpool stamp
kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Aubameyang through to Torreira inside the area. Torreira scores! And surely now, North London is red again. Arsenal 4, Tottenham 2.
Here's Maddison for Leicester. Vardy chance! Vardy goal! Leicester City out of nowhere have got the lead. Jamie Vardy, who's been virtually anonymous this afternoon, isn't anymore. Wonderful finish by Vardy, and it's Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
This is Premier League Live.
Welcome back. Half-time at Old Trafford. Manchester United leading, but overall, Watford, you could argue, the better team in the opening 45 minutes. But will that Rashford goal be added to in the second by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in his first game in charge? One of a number of games being played up and down the country today. Let's round you up with all the highlights and action so far on this Premier League Saturday.
Free kick's lofted in. Wood's got it behind. Chance here for Wood. 1-0. It is 1-0. Well, Wolverhampton Wanderers were asleep. 80 seconds on the clock. One quick free kick taken very quickly. Wood steals in behind the back four. Steals the ball past the keeper, Patricio, as he comes out. Rolls it goalwards. And the defenders can't keep it out. It's 1-0 to Burnley.
There's a chance for Chilwell. Will he try a shot? You see where it's flicked in? And it's a goal! The first goal to Leicester City by the restored captain, Wes Morgan. The ball was powered in from the edge of the box, and he just flicked a heel at it and guided the ball into the right-hand corner of the net. It's Leicester City 1, it's Bournemouth 0. Here is Moy delivers it into Chris Lowe. That's a great save. It'll come out to Carlin.